รายการต่อไปนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
สนับสนุนโดยแลกเงินด้วยบัตรเครดิตกสิกรไทยเที่ยวก่อนจ่ายทีหลังไม่มีค่าธรรมเนียมผ่อนชำระได้จากธนาคารกสิกรไทย
สวัสดีค่ะมองเรามองโลกวันนี้มีบทสัมภาษณ์พิเศษคุณมาคัส ฟรายทากเจ้าของแบรนด์กระเป๋าฟรายทากที่โด่งดังไปทั่วโลกกระเป๋าฟรายทากทำจากผ้าใบคลุมรถบรรทุกที่ไม่ใช้แล้วเอามาตัดเย็บใหม่ให้กลายเป็นกระเป๋าใบเท่ๆที่มีลวดลายแต่ละใบไม่ซ้ำกันเลยเรียกว่าทุกใบมีเพียงหนึ่งเดียวในโลกเท่านั้นทำไมสินค้าที่ทำจากวัสดุใช้แล้วจึงกลายเป็นแบรนด์ดังไปทั่วโลกแบบนี้ได้เราไปฟังคุณมาคัส ฟรายทากพูดถึงที่มาและแนวคิดของเขากันค่ะฟรายทากถือกำเนิดขึ้นในปี 1993 โดย2พี่น้องกราฟิกดีไซเนอร์ชาวสวิสมาคัสและแดเนียล ฟรายทากในตอนนั้นมาคัสและแดเนียลอยากมีกระเป๋าสะพายข้างที่สะดวกในการปั่นจักรยานและกันน้ำได้เขาทั้งสองเกิดความคิดที่จะเอาผ้าใบคลุมรถบรรทุกเก่าๆที่มีลวดลายและสีสันหลากหลายมาทำเป็นกระเป๋าโดยใช้ยางในรถจักรยานมากุ้นขอบกระเป๋าและใช้เข็มขัดนิรภัยมาทำเป็นสายคาดทั้งหมดนี้ล้วนเป็นวัสดุที่ผ่านการใช้งานมาแล้วทั้งสิ้นด้วยลวดลายที่ไม่ซ้ำกันรวมถึงความแข็งแรงทนทานของผ้าใบคลุมรถบรรทุกทำให้กระเป๋าฟรายทากแต่ละใบมีเอกลักษณ์เฉพาะตัวสามารถใช้งานได้สมบุกสมบันและเป็นผลิตภัณฑ์ที่สร้างความยั่งยืนให้กับสิ่งแวดล้อมปัจจุบันฟรายทากได้ออกแบบและพัฒนากระเป๋าออกมามากกว่า40แบบและได้รับความนิยมอย่างมากทั่วโลกฟรายทากไม่เพียงวางจำหน่ายแค่ในสวิตเซอร์แลนด์แต่มีร้านค้าตัวแทนจำหน่ายมากถึง450แห่งทั่วโลกรวมถึงประเทศไทยด้วย
So Marcus, you couldn't find a bag with the qualities that you want, and that's why you created one of your own. That's how it all started, right?
Right.
What happened?
Yeah, it was the personal need for a strong, waterproof messenger bag, and they haven't been available at this time in Switzerland. As we always did, we thought, okay, we just do it by ourselves, my brother and me, and that's how we started.
So what did you do 20 years back? You just ran after trucks and then say, hey, give me some of your tarps, I'll cut them into bags.
Yeah, maybe that's interesting. If you compare to today, you would start to Google, where can I get some fabric which is strong and waterproof? But at this time there was no World Wide Web. So that's why we've been looking out of the kitchen window and we saw on the freeway in the city the trucks passing by, and that was inspiring us. So we thought, okay, let's cut this truck into pieces and turn them into sustainable bags. So we went to a trucking company and we got the first piece of tarp and we made the first prototype.
And you what? Cut the bag yourself, sew them
Right.
yourself?
Yeah, I brought this piece of tarp 5 floors up to my apartment. I washed it in the shower and I started to cut the seat belts with a gluing knife in the kitchen, and my roommates thought, okay, what's going on? And somehow they liked the bag, but they didn't like that the flat turned into a production space. So that was the point where we then moved out to a studio and where we started a little bit more professional.
What about the design? How did you come up with the first design?
Yeah, it was just like a drawing. I thought it should be big like that, and maybe it should be extendable, because at this time as graphic designer you have some papers to transport. So we made a bag which was extendable. You could double the size and it's still in the collection, so it's the first and still most iconic bag with it. It's the model called F13 Topcat.
So this is the original model, the first bag that you created.
Right.
The
It's,
messenger bag.
1993, we did exactly this design of this bag, and that's the one who is extendable. Today we have it in like 4 sizes, that's the biggest one, and it's really reduced to the max, which means it's made out of 5 pieces of old truck tarps, and the function is very high. Here you have like inner tube from bicycle wheels,
Bicycles?
and this is as well the seat belt, the car seat belt, which we recycle as well. So I can double the size. It can happen when you're on your way that you need more space. So you just pull out,
Right.
and then you have like the double size, and you still can
And
go.
how do you carry?
And this is then more like the messenger style. There's also a seat belt. If you go fast on the bicycle, it helps.
So you always have a bicyclist mentality in your design.
Most of the bags are bikeable, which means you can wear them and you have your hands free to ride a bike, right?
And all your bags are water repellent.
Yes, that comes with the fabric and pretty strong and water repellent.
I can just throw this into the river.
No,
And then the
because
things
it will
inside would not get
be
wet.
open here. So, but you can ride your bike when it's raining. So that's this means water repellent. But in the end, it's not completely 100% waterproof. No.
And this bag is put into the Museum of Modern Art in New York as
Right.
well. How did that come about?
There has to be a donator who donates a bag to the design collection of the MoMA. And I think there was one person who was also doing the first book about Freitag. He was donating this bag as the first bag we did. And then there is a committee, and they then decide if they want to take it into the collection or not. And somehow we passed this exam, and now we are since a couple of years in the collection.
So once you have the first bag, you started using it and then people like it and ask you for it, or what happened after that?
The first bag was looking, I would say, really ugly in a way, still a little bit dirty, no brand name. So I would say like friends just started to ask, sorry, what is this? Ah, that's a bag. And so that's why we started to tell the story, which is behind the bag, behind making the bags. And yeah, soon this spread the word, and friends have been asking, okay, can you do one for me? And some friends told us, but you know, actually it should be a name on it, because otherwise it's not a branded product. And then it was again a friend of us who told us, hey, you have already a good name, Freitag, that's our family name. And so it was more a joke. We wrote Freitag on the bag, and since then they are called Freitag bags.
จากจุดเริ่มต้นที่ต้องการผลิตกระเป๋าเพื่อตอบสนองความต้องการของตัวเอง ปัจจุบัน Freitag ได้พัฒนาเป็นระดับอุตสาหกรรม มีโรงงานผลิตขนาดใหญ่ที่ทำแทบทุกกระบวนการด้วยตัวเองเพื่อให้กระเป๋าทุกใบเป็นกระเป๋าที่มีเพียงหนึ่งเดียวในโลก
Did you plan to make it into a business back then?
No, as a creative person, you always like to start something new. So the production still is really challenging. It's challenging to get enough old truck tarps. You never know how many you can get, what is the price, where you can get it. So it's limited. It was never a goal to end up with a factory in Switzerland, which is also a very expensive place to run a factory. Usually as a designer you design, but now we do everything. We do design, we do production, we set up stores. It's something you cannot outsource. If you would like to make individual products, you have to do it in a certain way, and the industry which was existing was not able to do so. So that's the reason why we did it always by ourselves.
What's the production process like?
That's a long one. So it starts with calling the truck companies or doing some truck spotting. So we go to the freeway when we spot the trucks. Then we try to reach these companies. Then we ask them, we have to explain what we're doing with the old truck tarps. The material then is transported to Switzerland. So we pay for the tarp, we pay for the transportation. Then we have to cut it into smaller pieces to bring it into our washing machines. After washing, it's the drying. After drying, it's the individual cut out. Then it's the color combination. So this is done also in Zurich, that we say, okay, let's take this red and make a combination with this blue. And then it's the sewing, which is the only step we can outsource, because there are companies who are able to then put all the pieces together. Not to forget like all the trims and small items who belong to a bag. And after the sewing, I think all the goods, they are coming back to Zurich. So there is like the main logistics center, and from there we then distribute it to different kind of stores. We also do the design of the packaging, the design of, for example, the shelf system we have here. We do also the whole communication. So it's 100% Freitag made.
You said you have to do everything yourself, so you cannot outsource it. Which part of the process is that difficult?
I think it's the individual cut. The trucks are looking different, and you have to know the shape of the bag, and you have to look to the piece of truck tarp, and you have to make the best out of it. And I think this is really difficult to tell someone else, maybe far away from where we develop the products. You really have to teach to the people who are joining our company. So they are still designers, even if it's kind of a production job that was not existing before. People who make individual products every day. So we have to teach them how to do what we like, what we don't like, and this is our soft skills, and soft skills are really difficult to outsource.
Do you choose which type of tarps you want yourself every time, the design, the colors?
No, today we have a big team doing this bag designs, but we still teach them. We let them know what we like, which kind of color combination we think would work, which color combination is working not so good, and we have a lot of feedback from the sales channels, so we also know what people like or don't like, and then we try to bring this into the production to make not bags who then don't sell. So
how old must the tarps be?
I would say a good truck tarp should be at least on the street for a couple of years. If it's 3 years, 6 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. For sure, very old truck tarp, they also have a little bit of shorter life as a bag, because the material is already really hard used.
So it doesn't matter how old they are?
I prefer the very old one. It's turning nearby into kind of leather, so if it's a really old one. But some people, they like also the newer quality, then it was maybe on a truck for about 1 year, which is still then an old truck tarp. Sometimes company change the color or change the names, they buy each other, they are rebranded, and these are always points where we then jump in and ask, hey, can we get the old truck tarps?
So basically you are recycling the tarp into a bag.
Yeah.
Have you always been into sustainability?
Personally, yes. So Daniel and I, we are obsessed by cycles, by closing cycles, by thinking and acting in cycles. It started when we've been small children. I think the kindergarten teacher told us, hey, the banana sleeve, you don't have to put to the trash, you can put it to the compost, and something new will grow out of it. So very early as small boys, we've been introduced to the biological cycle. A little later we started to collect old metal pieces, parts of bicycles on the street, and we built out of this recycled metal trash new products. So there was another cycle, the technical cycle, and I think this is something which is really inspiring us, working with reused material with resources who are already there and to give them a next life.
Your products, since they become so popular, so you need all the materials to produce them, are you pulling these materials out of their life cycles and therefore defeat the purpose of sustainability?
Yeah, I don't think so. So it would be too expensive to get the recycled truck tarps if they are not really on a point that they change it. Therefore, I think it's not possible. So I would say it's limited. I would say Freitag cannot grow as big as some other brands because we are limited to the resources. I think it will always be a niche, but I hope that this niche will grow, and I'm sure also other brands will go in this direction.
แม้จะเป็นงานที่ทำจากวัสดุใช้แล้วแต่ Freitag สามารถสร้างมูลค่าของกระเป๋าได้ในราคาที่สูงโดยราคาของกระเป๋าจะอยู่ที่ประมาณ 3,000 กว่าบาทไปจนถึงราคา 10,000 กว่าบาท
Yeah, since Freitag bags use some recycled materials, how come the prices are pretty steep?
Yeah, the price is coming from the production, the way we produce. We started very small in the most expensive country on earth, Switzerland, you can imagine. And in the beginning, it was more like a hobby. So there was never a calculation, there was no business plan at all. But since we started to tell the story how we do it, we thought, okay, we have to stick to the story. If we would like to make money, we have to outsource everything out of Switzerland. So it should be done where all the industry is producing, but we don't like that. So that's why we have in the end a price which is not cheap, but we still, if you know what's behind the product, the Freitag product, we think it's still a fair price.
Who are your main customers?
This is a wide range of people, maybe from 16 to 76. Usually a brand is focusing on a certain target group, but if it comes to Freitag, it's more about attitude they share. They have a certain mindset, maybe less is more, or we should invest in more sustainable product. And for sure it's also about style and design. I think if you make an ugly eco product, it would not work. And I think Freitag is a good example that it's possible to bring this together.
สิ่งหนึ่งที่มีชื่อเสียงไม่แพ้ความเก๋ไก๋ของกระเป๋าคือร้านของ Freitag ที่เมืองซูริกประเทศสวิตเซอร์แลนด์ซึ่งมีโครงสร้างแปลกตาด้วยการนำเอาตู้คอนเทนเนอร์เก่าๆมาเรียงต่อกันขึ้นไปแถมข้างในร้านยังมีการจัดวางสินค้าเป็นลักษณะลิ้นชักที่มีภาพกระเป๋าอยู่ข้างหน้าลูกค้าสนใจกระเป๋าใบไหนก็สามารถดึงเอากระเป๋าที่อยู่ข้างในออกมาดูได้
Your shop in Switzerland has become more or less a tourist destination. Why do you think people like it?
I think it's a very iconic building. It's a building who also tells a story like the product in the shop. If you come from far, you see these rusty containers, and it's a building made out of old containers. So it's also about recycling or recontextualization. So I think the store really tells the story of Freitag before you enter the store. On the other side, you can climb up and you can go on the top floor. There you have like a big binocular where you can watch down to the freeway and you can spot the trucks. And then for sure it's the biggest collection of Freitag bag you can get there. And yeah, it's really nice because before people have been traveling to Europe, they went to Milan or to Paris to buy their bags. Now they come to Zurich to buy Freitag. So it's a little bit the center, the epicenter of Freitag.
Why do you have to come up with the shelf system?
I think when you sell individual products, it's also about variety. So people don't want to have like 3 bags, they want to have like maybe 10 bags, 20 bags, that they really can choose their individual bag. And then the goal was how to bring as much as possible bags on as less space. And that is the reason why we push those bags into boxes, and we only have one bag out. So it's more like bringing a logistic system to a storefront.
If you would describe Freitag as a person, how would you describe it?
This person is individual, like every person. This person strong. This person takes care about the environment. This person has different moods, different colors. It has a strong character. This person gets even more beautiful while getting older. Yeah, that's maybe Freitag as a person.
As a fashion brand, for fashion, sometimes brands just come and go.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that Freitag would be sustainable in the long run?
I think there you can do a lot in the way of designing your products. So we try to come up with designs who are not made for one season. It's not easy, but I think it's possible to find styles who can become a classic. It's maybe a little bit more easy within accessories. So if you go to other companies who are maybe existing since 150 years, they have some iconic products in their collection, and this is what we do as well. We try to find out which are the iconic products of Freitag, and then we really take care about them to look that they are never out of fashion. On the other hand, it's also coming up with innovations all the time to renew the brand. This is another strategy.
What's the plan for the future?
There are a lot of plans. I would say like the bags, there's still a lot of potential, new shapes, new functions, new styles. This is one side. On the other hand, we developed a new material. What I'm wearing here is fabric. It's a Freitag fabric. It's made from fibers who can grow in Europe and who are produced in Europe and who are biodegradable, so there is no poison within this fabric. And this is the second material we thought we should have beside the recycled plastic truck tarps, a second material which you can care in this biological cycle.
นับเป็นเรื่องราวที่น่าสนใจมากๆที่สามารถสร้างแบรนด์หนึ่งให้ประสบความสำเร็จได้จากวัสดุเหลือใช้ขอให้เพียงมีแนวคิดที่สร้างสรรค์แล้วก็ตั้งใจทำผลงานของตัวเองให้ดีก็สามารถทำให้วัสดุเหลือใช้กลายเป็นสินค้าที่มีมูลค่าสูงได้ค่ะพบกันใหม่สัปดาห์หน้าวันนี้สวัสดีค่ะ